Okay, so we are here because this hose faucet was shut off for the winter, and when it gets turned on again, the valve inside is leaking. Alrighty, so here we are on the other side of the wall there. As you can see, this water line goes out to that hose faucet, comes in, comes this way, and then this valve right here is the shutoff for that. The owner shut it off for the winter and opened up the hose faucet on the outside to drain the water out, but when he turns this on again, it starts leaking out of the stem. So we're going to see about tightening that packing up. If we have to replace it, we will do that, but hopefully it's just a matter of tightening the packing nut. Okay, so let us open this. Oh yeah, you can see it's just dripping right out of the stem there. And it's pretty loose here right now. It's a pretty good drip. So, yeah, you can go grab a towel. Let's open up our adjustable. Hold back. And the packing nut is actually pretty loose on there as well. We'll tighten that up so it's snug. You don't want to go too tight with these because then it will actually compress around that stem too much, and then you can't actually turn the valve. It's still turning fairly free. Definitely stiffer than it was, but that's what we want. We want a seal. Let's open this up. Turn it a couple times. When he gets back with the towel, I will dry this up and we'll make sure that this is not going to leak anymore. But at least we're not dripping off the handle like we just were. That's a good sign. And then he wants me to investigate if it's actually a frost-free, which it almost looks like it may be, but they've got that insulation around it, so it's tough to tell. Alright. So let's take our towel, dry up around the stem here. Does have a little bit of water, but that could just be because the packing itself is wet from having been leaking like that. So, but since it's still turning pretty free, I will just snug it up just a little bit more. You just want to watch to see if there's any pooling water coming out of the nut and onto the stem there. This one seems to be looking pretty dry. Shut it off again. Might end up with some residual water because that packing is wet from having leaked. And we'll just dry it off again. And we'll let that sit for a minute and look to see if there are any leaks. While we do that, we will investigate that hose faucet to see if it's a frost-free. Now, whoever put that in used a shark bite, which I'm not really a fan of. But I can tell that right here, it's the end of the hose faucet there, so that is definitely a frost-free hose faucet. Just barely on the inside, but the valve should be close enough to the inside that the heat will bleed into that and keep it from freezing. So as long as he doesn't have a hose connected to it, he should be able to leave this on year-round and not even have to touch that valve again. Just to confirm with you guys from a different angle here, I will move this wire out of the way, and you can see the end of that frost-free hose faucet right there. They just sweat the copper pipe into the end of that. the actual valve and washer and everything is going to be right about in there. And so that's well within the house enough that the heat will be able to get to it and prevent that from freezing. Double check our stop and waste here, and it seems to be dry. It's on, so we should be in good shape. We will just confirm that this hose faucet is indeed working by turning it on and letting it run. We've got water there, and it shuts off as well. So that is what we want. Let's see. Make sure this vacuum breaker is flipped the right way, which it is. So when it comes up to pressure, it will probably stop leaking out of that. But we should be in good shape.